Let's talk about the biggest mistakes I made during my law school application process. If you're new here, my name is Anaya. I'm a graduating senior attending the illustrious Howard University, and I was recently accepted into law school with scholarship money. Getting right into it, y'all, I did not study for the LSAT long enough. I'm someone who struggled with standardized testing literally since middle school. Standardized tests have never been for me, and I knew that before I decided I wanted to go to law school. When it was time for me to start studying for my LSAT, I had just moved to LA, and I was working at NBC Universal at the time. I remember putting on my calendar, okay, you're gonna study for the LSAT on these days, and I would come home from work every day and get ready to study, and my brain was literally fried. Looking back, I definitely wish I would have figured something out so I could have been better prepared for my test, but the time has passed now. So instead of giving myself the 6 months that I wanted to have to study, I started studying like 3 months before my test. I do think it's also important to note that I did self-study. I did not take a class. I know you can get like discounted online classes if you get an LSAC waiver, but I wasn't able to get an LSAC waiver, so I had to self-study. Another mistake I want to say I made is I only took the test once. I wish I would have taken it twice. I could have taken the November LSAT. By the time I even thought to register for the November test, it was too late, so it was my October score or next year. The last mistake we're going to talk about is the fact that I did not apply as soon as I got my scores back. I definitely had enough time in between the time that I took the test and the time my score was released to develop a full application packet. By the time my test scores were released, I had my personal statement, I had all my letters of recommendation, and then at the last minute, I was like, I don't know how I feel about my personal statement. So I did 2 rounds of application submissions. My first round was about end of November, beginning of December, and then my second round was mid-January. I got my first acceptance letter exactly a month after I submitted my application, and that was when I got my first scholarship. I'm still waiting on like 4 decisions, but I did start getting more of my decisions towards the end of February and early March. Looking back, the 2 rounds were completely unnecessary. They were almost all the same materials, but hey, it was a lesson learned and I got into my first choice, so I'm not really worried about that part. But yeah, if there's anything I want y'all to take from this video, it's make sure you give yourself enough time to study for your LSAT. If you can afford to, take it more than once and use that extra time while you're waiting for your score to make sure your application packet is complete. Bye.